9 years ago, I started dating my now wife, who was a winemaker and sommelier in France while I was in flight school. Talk about long distance relationships. France to Pensacola, Florida was way too long distance. Let me just put it that way. And I realized really quickly that I didn't make enough money to go and have the type of long distance relationship I wanted. It just wasn't that fun only seeing her once every 3 or 4 months. And when I did, I wanted to have a fantastic time, get awesome hotels, see awesome places, eat awesome dinners, and that all costs a lot of money. And does the military pay you well? It pays you decently. But did I want to make more? Yes. I was actually really worried about saying that out loud. Like, hey, is it okay to tell people that I might want to make more income while I'm in the military? Is that a bad thing? Am I going to get in trouble for saying that? Well, I decided to go for it. I decided that this is what I needed to do. I needed to figure out how to make more income while in the military. And I discovered that there's one single thing that you can do to really change your income situation drastically early on, and that one thing is the VA loan. Now, if you think like that I'm kidding you right now because we're talking about a house and here I was talking about income, let me explain. The VA loan can literally help you do one thing first. It can let you stop putting money away in your TSP if you want to. And here's what I mean. I know I'm like raising the stakes here and this is getting a little bit off the wall and crazy, but if you really wanted to, you could stop contributing to your TSP and simply buy a primary residence, a home at whatever duty station you are. You can house hack it while you're there, meaning you rent out the other bedrooms or other units that are a part of it so that you basically live for free, so that other people are paying down your mortgage or paying for your mortgage. But even if you don't do that, when you move, as long as this property that you purchased is being paid off by a renter, right? They're paying the mortgage for you. Basically, they're paying you rent, and then you're paying the mortgage with that, and it's kind of paying for itself. As long as you do that, let's say it's a $500,000 house. In 30 years, what do you think the value of that house is going to be? As long as it's in a good market, it's easily going to be double or triple that, which most people are hoping that they get to save that much up in their TSP or their Roth IRA. So this thing alone is like acquiring for 0% out of pocket. You're acquiring essentially a TSP that's working for itself, that's building itself. Somebody else is paying it off for you while it's also appreciating in value. Oh, and by the way, eventually it'll probably cash flow and make you money every single month. That is the single thing that's going to help you not have to it'll help you increase your monthly lifestyle, your monthly income, because now you're not putting away that income automatically in a TSP. Now, just to clarify, I'm not saying that putting money in a TSP is a bad idea. If you can, go for it. If you're okay with not touching that money until you're 59 and a half, go for it. But I wanted to touch the money that I make, that I work hard for earlier. And so I wanted to put it into assets that had the potential of making me a return every single month to contribute and compound my lifestyle to make it better and better and better. Now, what can you do after a VA loan? What can you do? What are the next steps? Well, you can acquire more rental properties. You can acquire another property at your next duty station, have it be your primary residence, then turn it into a rental. You can hire property managers to manage these, to vet the tenants so that it's more hands-off, damn near passive. And then you can actually acquire properties that are out of state. You can actually use other people's money, and I don't mean only the bank's money. You can actually get investors, raise capital, and have them go in on deals with you so you can scale even faster. And all of this is possible with what ADPI teaches, like active duty passive income, where I'm the CEO and founder. We have an amazing team. We teach military families, like anybody who's a part of the military, how to do this. How do you invest in real estate smartly? How do you analyze the expenses so that you're not in the hole every month? And then how do you raise capital to do even bigger deals if that's what you want to do? And so if you're interested in this, if you're like, heck, I would really, really like to make more money even while I'm in the military, then check us out at activedutypassiveincome.com. And I'll leave you with one little story. I remember walking down the hallway in Miramar, right? I was on Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, and I was listening to a corporal and a sergeant discussing their finances, and one was saying to the other, I can't remember which one, they were like, hey, wow, I really don't know if I'm going to re-enlist. And the other was like, well, what else could you do? Well, I don't know. And it was like this back and forth, and I don't remember the details, but I remember just walking by and hearing this, like accidentally eavesdropping on this conversation. And I was like, wow, these two military members, right? These two Marines seemed to both be stuck between a rock and a hard place. They wanted to serve their country, but it seemed like they were probably happy with what they've accomplished so far, they were potentially done with what they felt like their service obligation or what they wanted it to be, right? And they were ready to move on to other things. I know a lot of times in the military, at least I felt this pressure. People were like, well, why wouldn't you want to continue serving? But sometimes it's, it's not a bad thing. You're not a bad person for not wanting to be in the military anymore. So I saw them struggling with this because it was like they didn't know what they could do outside of the military. They didn't know what their identity would be. A lot of them would joke like, I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. But also, it's the fact that there is that comfort in the military and there is that security with the paycheck and with the benefits that decision is always a hard one to make. And it seems like you're forced to make the comfortable decision because you don't know what the other potential options are. And so what I'm trying to relay here is when I saw that, I basically wanted to figure out how to help those individuals because I was figuring it out on my own, and I figured out that, hey, there is a way to make more income. There is a way to better your financial situation and that would allow you to stay in the military if you wanted, or get out of the military, or to transition out of the military if you wanted. It would allow you to do either or. And in fact, I actually doubled down on my thought process, and I was like, what if military members had a better financial situation, not only like were their finances and ducks in a row, but they were actually making more income? What if that let them be a better military officer? That was my theory. I was like, if I made more income, will I become a better military officer? And I think with many things, sometimes this is true, sometimes it's not, but at least I would not have to worry about finances. It would be one less thing that would bog down my focus on like my military occupation if my finances were done right. Because I'll tell you what, when I was in the Marine Corps, the Marines that I saw had the most problems were typically in two categories, either relationship problems or financial problems. Well, guess what? Just turns out that those that had relationship problems, really, if you dug deeper, half of those pretty much were because of finances as well. Now, this isn't data. I haven't polled people, but that's just what it seemed like all the time. And so what I'm saying is, I believe that if you're in the military and you want to have a better financial situation, you have to learn how to acquire assets instead of putting money away until you're like way down the road. That's my bold statement. And so I am just telling you right now, the viewer of this video, if you want to invest in real estate, the best way to do it is to start with your VA loan, house hack if you can, and turn it into a rental property. It's the best way to get your foot in the door. That's how you can increase your lifestyle, your income situation at home. Thank you for watching this video. This is Mark Yancich with Active Duty Passive Income, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.